Well, I didn't expect to spoil review on this episode not until later tonight, but apparently Hulu dropped the episode pretty early on Hulu itself. Usually you have to wait a day after the premiere. So I have to say in this episode, this is going to be spoiler talk, so welcome to the spoiler discussion. If you haven't seen the episode, there's a non-spoiler review out there on my channel. Go check it out. But right away, I got to say, poor Angel. Poor Angel. The dude just gets dragged into this kind of mission, this thing that they got to do for El Paquero. So, poor Angel. He doesn't need this in his life, right? Thinking about a lot of the things that they set up, characters that we got reintroduced, that came back, and then new characters. It was a great episode. Especially, I think everybody, let's just get it out of the way. Once again, this is why on my last video I said, dude, Bishop's downfall. This is what we're seeing. We're seeing his downfall, and we saw that in this episode. I didn't think it was going to come this early into the season, but it did. They're all sitting down. Conche's in the club right now, which I saw the teaser for promo number 3. And none of those scenes are a lot of those scenes are not in this episode. So it's kind of weird. But we did get Conche coming in. You see the back of his head. He seems like he's healed. So much tension in the club. And that's the big thing in this episode is even Conche, his VP, everybody's saying, dude, Alvarez, your little experiment isn't working. We need to you need to get rid of this charter. But Marcus sees a hope. He sees future. He knows he's trying to build something. And even Bishop is just not letting go. The anger, not letting go. He's not squashing this. And Conche's like, listen, we're trying to heal. And this motherfucker right here just keeps stirring stuff up. To the fact where, dude, I was like, oh no, you didn't. Going against Alvarez and really kind of spitting in his face. The tension that they had, the interaction they had, I really like. I like when Bishop and Alvarez interact, even though they're cousins. That don't mean anything from Alvarez. They even Manny even points that out, that family, he chose the club over the family. Bishop is no longer I think he was VP at the moment, or was he? I think he was still president, honestly. I thought he was VP last episode, but I think he was still president in that charter. Either way, his patches are gone. He is no longer ranked at all. He's done. He's pretty much done. He is just a member at this point. Taza resigned with him, so that's what I'm thinking, that he was still president. They take Bishop's patch off, and they take and then Taza gets the knife, and he takes his patch off, the VP. And then Alvarez, man, right away throws the VP patch to Ezekiel. Now, I said I don't want to see Easy as a president so soon. I think it's too soon to make him jump that rank, that high of a rank, or, be the man. But getting the VP is fine with me, and that's exactly what happened in this episode. Even everybody's saying, that's not the way you want to do it, but congratulations. No beating around the bush. We know who our main character is in the series, so just give him the patch already, right? And if we do see a lot of his, we know that Alvarez has high hopes for Easy, and if we see that throughout the season, you might see him climb the ranks so early, or maybe a time skip for the finale. I'm not quite sure. I think VP is where he needs to be. It was good to see that they're not beating around the bush. The storyline between him and JJ, the guy who took him in prison, I don't know where that's going. I don't necessarily. Hopefully it has a payoff. There's a couple storylines in here where I'm just do we really need it? It's already getting bloated once again. I have faith that this season's going to tie up at least a lot of it, hopefully. Last season they did that, but then they left some open. That still goes on to this season. So I have faith that they're going to do it, but it's a lot of storyline. It's a lot of side stories here, but for the most part, they're handling it well. Even Angel says, what's that guy, why? And Easy knows he has a bad feeling about this, basically. They did mention, does he know about the deal? I don't remember anything them saying about deal or whatever in the past. So maybe this is new. I'm not quite sure. It's It was season 1, right? It was the deal he made. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. It was the deal he made. Of course, easy, to get out. So that might be playing a big part. That's an intriguing part. That is Easy's past catching up to him. I kind of really forgot about everything that kind of happened all in that season 1 and a little bit in season 2. What's going on is that Easy volunteers Angel, which I thought was hilarious. And Angel, I love Angel, and Cardenas is just really looking at him like, what you just, I didn't volunteer for shit. And of course, Manny wants to be in Easy's good graces. Like, he wants to be friends with Easy. They're very similar. They're Boy Scouts. Even Easy, or Angel calls them nerds towards the end of this episode. So he wants to be friends with them. And I actually really like Manny and Easy's relationship throughout this episode. There's a lot of camaraderie. There's a lot of understanding of one another. Enemies turning into friends. We'll see how that plays out as well. But so far, I like it. I dig it. So they got to bring over this, I believe it was like an accountant or something like that. His name is, or was it Randall? Randall was super annoying in this episode. He was very unlikable. There was a reason why they made him unlikable. He brings his son along as well to this highly secretive and also, crossing the border type situation. And he's bringing luggage and stuff. So El Paquero comes back, right? And I actually really like this character. I think he's energetic. He's enthusiastic. The actor's doing a really good job. In the beginning of this episode, they show the ruthlessness of him and his morals. I really like him. And then you see kind of his family life, right? The sister, his mother. He's still kind of a family man. I like him and his sister back and forth. I thought that interaction was great. When you give me subtitles in Spanish, it really feels more, So I absolutely love El Paquero. I think he's a really good villain. You could tell the actor's having a lot of fun with this. I said that even though Miguel's out of the picture, and even though we might not get that storyline heavily in this season, I don't see them getting away from the cartel, because guess what? The Mayans need a new pipeline, and who's the new guy is El Paquero. So they, of course, they're going to align themselves with him, which is kind of funny. Kanji talking all that crap with Bishop and everything, but they're doing kind of the same exact thing, with Bishop and Galindo and all that stuff. There's no way you can get rid of that cartel plotline. It is essential to the Mayan series as a whole. So him having to, wanting them to bring Randall, we'll get to that we'll discuss that in the very end. There is a very disturbing factor towards the end of this episode. It doesn't make sense. But it does hit you at your core, because what this episode, it really deals with is a lot family, club, loyalty, especially loyalty. They really hit that home right in the beginning of this episode. And what will you do, right? What will you do for your loved ones? And that's what's hitting the message home in this episode. Because who do we get back? We get back Adelita. And I didn't think we would see her so soon, but I guess the question everybody's going to ask, where's Potter? Is he dead? Is he alive? I'm assuming he's alive still. So we'll see. That Volvo she's driving, I was thinking in the back of my head, he's in the back of that trunk. We see Adelita, and these are some of the shots I really like. She doesn't speak. There's really no dialogue. It's just really seeing her situation and you understanding we know what she wants. We know what happened at the cliffhanger at the end of last season. She's tailing a guy who probably either has information or is one of the adopted one of the father to her baby, or the baby was put into a family, or basically, yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's really kind of making a chess move, right? Making a chess move, and then we're not going to see the whole game until these next couple episodes. Really get a big picture of what this person is trying to do, and where all the other characters like Potter is at the moment. So I thought Adelita brings a nice that they did that, though, to really kind of showcase. And they did that for Emily too. They did that for Emily of what she's kind of doing. We get it. We don't need dialogue to know what she's doing in the last episode. In this episode, we do get a little bit more Emily. This is another storyline that I still think is not necessary unless they have a big payoff, so you got to kind of like roll with it. I'm not gonna bash on Emily's storyline right now. I'm tired of doing that. You just kind of, I won't do it until I know exactly what they're doing. But basically, what it is she's still worried that Miguel is trying to track her and her son. And like we said, her son is with her sister. She has to travel from point A to point B. It's a long distance. Her sister has her son. They're kind of, she only comes and sees her son, I think it looked like kind of on the weekends, basically. She's, of course, Emily is working. They're trying to lay low. They're trying to make sure that everything is clear. She doesn't know if Miguel's dead or alive. This leads me to believe that because Marcus does say that Galindo was dead. I believe Marcus said that. And I didn't believe it whatsoever. It's the same thing like Nestor. He said something about Nestor not being around, but Nestor clearly is around because he gets reintroduced back. And he was probably the most, I felt for him, man. He's a security guard. I've never been a security guard, but from going from a high ranking position to that, I don't know what, so I'm not going to go crazy, or I'm not going to really dive into Nestor and his situation too much because he was barely kind of in the episode, but it's good to see that he's still alive. I really do dig this character. I think they could do a lot more with him. It's great to see Alvarez, like I said, loyalty, friendship, kind of seeing him at the end, them having a talk. I don't know if it leads to bigger things, if he comes to the club or whatsoever. You could tell he's just absolutely, he can't believe what he, in the situation he is in and the job he has. So we don't know what that handshake was really about. It might have been just Alvarez just checking up on him. We'll see. So going back to Emily's situation, though, her saying that she's still worried and this storyline still being there, and especially with this storyline being that Emily is watching her back at constant times. That's realistic, for one. And then also, I just think we're going to have a Miguel pop up at the end. Maybe he's finally tracking down Emily. We don't know if Emily's going to go back to Easy or anything like that, because it seems like Easy is developing this little love relationship with the Nail. I call her Nails too, basically, because she looks like Nails. But she kind of has a Zendaya, Mary Jane, Spider-Man kind of personality in this series so far. So that's another plot line and storyline that I'm not carrying for the most part with Easy and this new love interest. But once again, it's early. It's episode 3. These are threads that are being woven. Yeah, we get returning characters. Then we also get more tension. The Angel and Coco interaction, I couldn't remember if Angel did see Coco, sniffing that powder. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. I didn't go back and rewatch the last season. But there's rift right there. Coco is kind of like on edge and he's pissed at the club for not helping him. The only one that helped him was Gilly. So, but what do you expect, man? You're a grown ass man. I mean, you can only do so much. There's other problems and there's other situations. We know Angels. We know the heartache he had with his son, and then now having a baby with Nails. I didn't expect one interaction, and that was Nails and Felipe. Did not expect that. Kind of liked it. Felipe's like he's a ladies' man. With Gabby, now Nails. But it makes sense that he wants to be there for his grandchild. He wants to be a helping hand. And in the story, in the series, I mean, that's kind of Felipe's storylines have been kind of done. So this is one aspect that realistically he would come and help out, around. He would be with Nails while Angel is off. And then this is when, the relationship's already doomed. It's basically like Tupac's song, Run the Streets. Basically, Angel is going to be with his boys doing what he has to do. Nails doesn't like that. We saw that in the first episode when she cried to him, wanting him not to do anything or not to risk his life. But this is exactly what he's doing. Even though he didn't volunteer to do it, Easy and volunteered to risk his life. The relationship is doomed. By all means. Okay, we all know that. I do like Conche coming into this series. I really love this, man. I really love the Mayans, like all these charters in this one clubhouse. The tension's rising high, but the interaction's super great. This really feels now, like Sandra said in the cast, like members coming together, members talking. Taza's still trying to talk to Bishop, and Bishop dropping the F-bomb on him. Bishop is done with Taza. Taza is really trying to get in his good graces. He's really trying to tell him, like, I still got your back, dog. Bishop does not want any of it. And he might kill this guy later on. I mean, there's nothing now. There's really nothing to lose. What does Bishop have to lose? Absolutely nothing. So we're seeing a downfall of one of the best characters in the series. And I said that I'm okay with his downfall. I think it's very entertaining. And I think, it is what it is. If you look at his character up to this point, do you expect nothing less? Taz is really pushing Bishop. He's really pushing it, where I see Bishop strangling the hell out of Taza, maybe. The interaction with Manny, Easy, and Angel, even Randall, I guess, that was really good, especially when they're like, oh, hey, I heard that your dad was going to get you a PS5 in Mexico, Manny kind of reminds me of a Better Call Saul character, or kind of a little bit of a Breaking Bad character. He does remind me of that. He reminds me of one of those characters that you could see in one of those series, but in the Mayans. So I will say Bishop's bike too, when he was riding off, the sweet ass color on that bike. I'm just saying, some name drops too. Happy was name dropped. I just assumed a lot of everybody knew about, Alvarez and what he did to his son. But not a lot of people, maybe there's like muddled facts and stuff, and it hasn't really kind of gone around, I guess, word of mouth. I mean, it was a thing that he did that was not it was a secretive thing, so to speak, I guess. But when Manny mentions Alvarez, and then also him giving to one of the, I think he even says like one of the sons, because at that point was Happy a nomad? I can't remember. And Manny stating that, if anybody put hands on my daughter, I would, done deal, and knowing that Happy killed Easy and Angel's mother, I don't know if they're bringing that back. I don't know if because those wounds are not healed, even though they had a truce. Those wounds are absolutely not healed. There is still Happy that they want to, and you know what? Now I'm starting to worry about Happy. Does Happy come back? And does Happy, or do they exact revenge? I just watched The Northman, so revenge is like very realistic through a lot of the media I'm seeing. The biggest thing is when they're going across the border. There's some activity going on at night, so Easy, Manny, Angel have to lay low. Easy agrees with Manny that they should lay low and wait it out. And Angel wanted to push on, which Angel was probably, it's a tough situation and it's a tough answer either way. It can go bad either way. Nobody expected the thing that would happen. So we're gonna address this, man. This was the crazy part in the episode. This was really the episode did do its job, where I absolutely was enraged because I have a son myself. And then just the fact that, a lot of the talk was of family, loyalty, friendship, cousins, Manny talking about his daughter and stuff. But the fact that Randall, when we get introduced with Randall, he's just really this naive, pampered baby, basically. And then his son is quiet, looks like a little punker kind of. There's not a lot of... I thought he was kind of shy at first. He's not really interactive with the guys in the van. Creeper's with them, by the way. Creeper does have a little line in there. It's good to see Creeper doing something. It would be nice if Creeper got some more dialogue. I think Creeper just dropped them off and then crossed, if I'm not mistaken. I'm surprised Creeper didn't go with them, which would have been nice. But, Easy said it was basically just him, Angel, and he's going to bring Manny. And that was it. Randall, man, this guy, we already did not like him, and him threatening to, text El Paquero, and, I felt bad for Concha. He's like, fuck it, these idiots, just do it. Concha just wants this done. He wants his new pipeline. He wants, I guess, what's best for the club. Reasonably so. Like I said, I love the interaction with him and Alvarez and stuff, and Conche, it seems like he's kind of on board with everything that's going. It's just Bish is just the one being a bish, wish. Going back to Randall. So they lay low, right? Everybody's like taking a nap, going to sleep. Angel wakes up. Angel doesn't see Randall or his kid. He kind of like, where are these guys? So he gets a flashlight, goes looking for them. And it is implied that Randall is sexually abusing his son. It's very much implied. There's his son saying no, Randall saying it'll be our secret. It was, man, even it's hard to talk about it because I hate storylines like this, and I hate the real world when this stuff happens. So seeing this at the end of the episode, and then it's just been like, man, it's every storyline they put in like this, or everything when they do this for shows, anime, whatever you want to say, it's hard. It's hard to watch, especially when you're a father. You just, like, Manny hits a home, man. Fatherhood and your child. You do not want to see any harm, and you don't want him to cause harm to not anybody or himself. So seeing this piece of crap Randall doing what he was doing, the writers did exactly what they made me angry, and I bet you they made a lot of people angry watching this, in the sense of what was going on in that situation. And rightfully so, Angel shooting that guy, and Angel now knowing, I don't think Angel has ever experienced that or ever even thought of that, of, that kind of, that there are parents like that, and there are pieces of craps like that do that to their own, either cousins, siblings. I mean, look at the, who was it? It was Cain Velasquez situation. Look at the Cain Velasquez situation. So Angel firing onto Randall and essentially killing him. And then, I mean, the big thing is the consequences that this brings, and the hell that the Mayans charter that's going to happen to them. But the most important thing is Angel doing what he needed to do. And I mean, it's implied. It's not, I mean, I don't see anything else that would say that maybe he was just like, he had something in that backpack that he needed or whatever. I don't know. But it looked like it implied there was a really, just a really bad situation that was going on with him and his son. Randall, if he doesn't do what he does in that exact moment, we never know what he's doing, right? They probably get him to El Vaquero, and that's that. Right? We don't know what Easy doesn't know, Angel doesn't know, Manny doesn't know. But because we need the story to not only go a certain direction with what they're trying to do, maybe towards the end, and having this big conflict with now El Vaquero, they introduce another element to the story where it's kind of more personal to Angel, Manny, even I would say Easy, because Easy almost blew up Conte's kid, right? So as much as I think that it's not realistic that Randall, he is a sexual predator, so I understand, like, he would want, that's what I got out of this episode. I don't know if everybody else got out of that episode thinking, I'm pretty sure that's what's going down. That he would have the urges, like he can't stop those urges. But I don't know if he'd do that in that time. But because he did it, this is where everything starts kind of heading to hell, going to hell, basically. So I thought Angel did the right move. I thought the ending of this episode, I thought this ending was a little bit more shocking than Steve's. And I forgot to mention Steve. We're going to get to Steve right now, but I thought this was a little bit more shocking. I wasn't expecting it at all. So it kind of like, that's what I got out of it. It looked like I went back seeing, like, is this really what I'm seeing right now? Is this really what I'm watching? So it was a shocking moment. It was a shocking moment. So they did their job. They hammered home of a moment where I'm just like kind of devastated a little bit. Like, that poor kid, that kid. That's what I got. Then secondary was like, somebody's gonna have to take the fall, right? Angel. I think maybe Manning will say that everything went awry because he did something. Maybe Manning will step up to the plate and sacrifice himself or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It leaves me in a little bit of a shock. I will not lie. So that situation, their situation, the club situation just got worse. Going to Hank. Hank was the star to me. That bloody vest, that bloody cut was Steve's. I like how the writers didn't finish Steve's storyline or didn't finish that impact that Steve's suicide had with just the last season. They carried it on to this season. Now, the one thing my boy Hank did wrong was he gave that vest to the mom bloodied. Come on, Hank. Your mama should have taught you better. You need to wash that vest before you give it to her, because at the end of the episode, we see her scrubbing the Steve's blood off that vest. But I appreciate the fact that Hank, he really cared for that prospect. You could even say it was like a family member to him. I don't want to necessarily say son, but like a family member to him. He really cared for that prospect. He pushed him way over the edge, but he really had high hopes for him too. Hank, what is Hank's, life? He doesn't have children. He doesn't have a wife. He doesn't even have a girlfriend. He has his mom. So him maybe wanting, and then, him finding out with Nails, he was ready to be a dad. So Hank losing Steve and, him having a bum leg and him going to his mom and really kind of just paying his respects. Steve's sister just couldn't believe it. I don't know if the family will come back to the series or whatever, if Hank will supply him with money or anything like that later on. I don't know. But having that, I think that was the right move with the writers to really bring that in to this episode and just to kind of like close it out, That's a really proper closure right there. And not only for Steve, but for Hank. Hank having, I want to say something to do, but having that, guilt. Hank still has that guilt. This is not, even though it was 4 months after that whole, the whole raid, it's still on his mind. So I thought that was a right move, right call. I thought that was one of the best parts in this episode for sure. Man, there's a lot. There's a lot to cover in this episode. I'm going to cover more on the cast. We're going to break it down or rewatch this episode. It's not a 2-episode premiere, so I'll be able to like rewatch this episode a couple times. This was a good episode, man. This was a really good episode. That final, the whole situation at the end, it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's heartbreaking. And I have no clue. Well, first of all, El Paquero is going to he's going to go after him. Like, kiss that new pipeline. Goodbye. But other than that, you're kind of just like wondering what happens after that, right? Like right at that moment, what happens after that? How do you talk to the kid? All that stuff. Insane. So doing a good job. So far, 3 episodes in, it's very dramatic. But they're doing a lot of elements that I wanted for past so many seasons, was introducing a lot of these club members. Really, they're still a little fat in the season, little storylines that they really need to just really cut off, but it's not too much fat. It's really, really thinly, I could eat it fat. So great stuff. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. If I missed some stuff, of course, I'll comment below like I always do. Did you get that same? I mean, I might be on the wrong, man. I might be like, when I saw, I was just thinking like, was that dad being a piece of shit? I don't know. Maybe because I was wrong in the first episode. Alvarez did shoot somebody. He shot the guy in the back of where when everybody's lined up. The guy that had the gun to all the members. Alvarez did shoot that guy, so he did die. He did shoot somebody, Alvarez. But I felt like the editing is still like a little weak on that end. Like the editing was just boggled. But I don't know, man. This episode was crazy. I got to watch it again. So thank you guys. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Would really appreciate that. Like the video so we can get this video going. And then comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this episode. I mean, yeah, what a doozy. What a doozy. I'm Dan American, Son. I'll see you guys next time.